What's going on, YouTube? So Lexus has long been a leader in hybrid technology, especially when it comes to their popular crossovers. And this NX is one of the most popular Lexus hybrid crossovers because it balances good price with size. But we want to know today, is this hybrid version the NX that you should buy? Well, let's go ahead and find out. Now, like always, let's talk a little bit about what is under the hood with our spec dump. So this, of course, is the hybrid model. It has a 2.5-liter four-cylinder engine with electric componentry. Total system power is 239 horsepower. That's paired to an eCVT for your transmission. And as far as fuel economy, you're looking at 39 MPG combined. Now, the base price for the NX is $46,000 for this 350h model, and if you're looking to buy one or any new vehicle, we'd encourage you to go to carconfections.com/newcarquotes to get the best price. Now, of course, we're going to be taking it out for a spin later in this video. While we're on that spin, we'll get things like our sound level reading, and at the end, we'll discuss resale and reliability. But let's go ahead and close up the hood, see if there's anything different with the exterior design for the hybrid model. So as far as the hybrid is concerned, you largely will not know that this is a hybrid version of the NX. They really don't change much, but there is one important thing, and that's if you like the F-Sport trim levels. The traditional hybrid here does not offer an F-Sport version. You'll have to get either the 350, the gas engine option, or you can get the plug-in hybrid 450h+. That also has an F-Sport version. That means in terms of the design, you're going to have the little bit simpler, a little less aggressive version of the spindle grille. It's got a gray finish going on through here, a little bit of trim down through here. And then as far as our lighting is concerned, of course, all models are going to give you the standard LED headlights. We've got the nice beam design here, although as you can see, we've got an incandescent turn signal indicator, arrowhead daytime running light above that. And then one of the things I really like is the fact that down below we have LED fog lamps, which are increasingly being eliminated off a lot of the competition. And then, of course, in the back, just like all the other Lexus crossovers, you've got that signature design. Yeah, I think it's a very tasteful and classy look. And as far as some of the design touches, we have a spoiler up top. We have a window wiper right through here. Our signature full-length LED taillights. And I guess that's a little bit of a spoiler as far as the lighting components because it's going to be a full LED setup. So LED brake light, LED reverse light, LED amber turn signal indicator, Lexus branding across the back. And then as we drop down to the lower fascia, because the 350h specifically is not available in any F-Sport variety, it's going to be a little bit more of a plain diffuser area with no exposed exhaust outlets. Now for the wheels, you start with 18-inch alloys. However, we've got the optional 20-inch alloys on this model. This is a multi-spoke with the bright color finish. Kind of gives you a nice luxurious design. A little bit of cladding goes around the wheel arches, but not too much. And as we move up here to our mirrors, they're nicely equipped with all the goodies you'd like to see on a luxury SUV, including auto dimming here on the driver's side and power folding, in addition to heating and blind spot monitoring. Now at the side of the NX, overall vehicle length is 183.5 inches, which actually is a little bit smaller than some of its competition, but we'll see how that translates to space a little bit later on in this video. Now as far as design touches, we do have roof rails, and we also have the crossbars installed on this model. And one thing I'm very happy to tell you, regardless of which NX you get, even the very base model, you're going to have all 4 active safety features as standard equipment, including adaptive cruise control. But guys, there is a bright red interior and some standard features that we need to talk about. But first, if you're new here, we're brothers and we've been reviewing cars since we were 12 and 16. We started young, and since then we've reviewed over 2,000 cars at every price point. And if you want to know about all the latest and greatest rides, then make sure to subscribe to be a part of our Car Confections family. Let's learn a lot and have some fun with all the newest cars. All right, now let's check out the cabin. First, here's our key fob, typical Lexus key fob. You have standard smart entry. And getting inside, just pinch behind the black accented door handles to open it up. Now, checking out the interior, like Mason was hinting at, we do have a pretty bright interior color. This is the red, Rioja red, which is a pretty cool color option to see offered on this model. Lexus actually has a pretty wide variety of color options as well, and there are some material differences, beginning with the new Lux leatherette on the 350h model. When you get the luxury package though, if you care about that, you do get the real leather. Now, new for 2025, the luxury model also offers a new macadamia color option, and then also you have the new copper crest exterior color option for 2025. The seats themselves have at least 8 ways of power adjustment and 2-way lumbar. You can get 4-way lumbar on the higher end examples. We also have the available memory seating here on this premium version. But let's go ahead and get inside. All right, now that we're out of the wind, let's take a look around at the rest of the cabin materials. Over here on the door trim, we have leatherette finished in the same red color, and through the center section as well, soft touch plastic along the top. The door trims have kind of a 3D printed trim that looks pretty interesting. Up at the top of the dashboard, soft touch plastic will finish through the whole thing. A little bit of piano black surrounds. The glove box down here is actually finished in the red, which is pretty cool. And then we have more of the red leatherette going through here for our knee to rest against. And let's fire it up with the standard push button start. Now jumping into some individual details of the interior, we'll take a look at the gauge cluster first of all. This is a 7-inch partially digital cluster. Actually, unlike many of the other Lexus models, the NX has not been upgraded quite yet with a full digital cluster, so just the center part is reconfigurable. Nevertheless, we've got the available head-up display. And then as we pull back to the steering wheel itself, you'll see a nice leather-wrapped design, signature Lexus look. It's actually power, tilt, and telescoping, which a few in the class do not offer. And then we have new standard rain-sensing wipers for 2025. The steering wheel itself is heated, which is an option. Now, let's turn over here to our center console next. It opens up from both sides to the side, and inside of that, we have our donuts for the donut test. Now, we like to load it in, check the volume compared to the rivals. Now, Lexus must have designed this to pass the donut test exactly because it has a dozen donuts. Up in front of that, we've got 2 cup holders. You have some storage up here with the available wireless phone charging pad. That's actually a $75 option. And then if I slide that back, we have our felt-lined center console storage, which now has 2 USB-Cs, new for 2025 down there, in addition to the 2 right above it. As far as the shifter itself is concerned, it's the small electronic style. Just go like that for drive. There are paddle shifters on the steering wheel for simulated gear changes. Press up to check out reverse. We have the optional panoramic view 360-degree camera system on this model. So as you can see, you got the nice overhead view. You also have the transparency as you back up. Just press the P for park. The electronic parking brake is automatic. You also have brake hold as well. Now as we rise from that, we have our volume knob. There's 2 different audio systems on this. You can get a 17-speaker Mark Levinson if you really like the audio experience, or you might save a little bit of dough and stick with the standard 10-speaker sound system like what we have today. Let's give it a sample. Overall sound quality of this system is perfectly fine. Like I said, if you're a big audiophile though, definitely pay for the upgraded Mark Levinson. Alright, now let's zero in here on our display area. So first of all, let me just go ahead and mention the overall sizing. So this is about a 14-inch display. This is an upgrade from the standard 9.8-inch display. So depending on which one of those you choose, it will be arranged a little bit differently, including having your climate controls built into the display itself here on the larger one. Now the climate controls are a dual zone automatic setup, nice and simple adjustments with the knobs that are built into the screen, and then additional functions are inside of there. We also have standard 3-stage heated seats on all models. Ventilated seats are an available option. Now the software itself is going to be very recognizable if you've been in any recent Lexus or Toyota models. It's super simple. You just have those shortcut buttons along the side. You have wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay built in for all models, and you also have navigation. Up top, we've got the auto dimming mirror with our 3 HomeLink universal remotes. A sunroof is optional on this model. It's not included on just the base trim level. You can also get a panoramic one if you want something a little bit bigger, but here's what the standard size looks like. All right, so let's go ahead and check out the rear seats of this Lexus NX. Now, when it comes to the rear seats, it is going to be a pretty comfortable place to spend time, but let's talk about these space figures first and foremost. So we're going to be sitting at 36 inches of legroom, about 38 inches of headroom, so those are decent figures for the segment. I do want to point out, though, that some of its main rivals, the Acura RDX, Audi Q5, those types of vehicles will be a little bit bigger when it comes to those space numbers. Now, as far as how much knee room we have, of course, we brought the official Car Confections ruler along with us. That's because this seat is adjusted to Drew, who is 5'8". I'm 5'9" for reference, and we are sitting at about 7 inches of additional knee room. That's just a good number for your reference. Also, we do have plenty of room for my feet to slide up underneath of the seat. Speaking of the seats, they are quite comfortable, and they have the ability to recline a little bit. It's not a ton, but they do recline ever so slightly. We have a nice fold-down armrest, 2 cup holders inside. It's a very wide armrest. And then as far as features are concerned, we have our own climate vents back here. We do not have our own climate zone, which is something that a lot of the rivals include. Down below, we have a 12-volt outlet and 2 USB-C ports. Heated back seats are an available option. We don't have it on today's model. Then over on the door trim, mostly the same materials as the front, so we have soft touch on the upper part, leatherette all through the center section and on the armrest portion. And then as you can see down on the bottom, we have a pretty good amount of bottle storage, which is obviously big enough to fit that bottle. Now, walking up to the tailgate, we do actually have a change for 2025, and that's that we have a power tailgate standard on every single NX this year. Now, as far as the space is concerned in the NX, we do have a decent amount of it, about 23 cubic feet of space behind the second row of seats. If we fold those seats down, we're looking at 47 cubic feet of space. Now, I got a little distracted because the floor mats actually started to blow away in the wind here. It is very windy. But back to the NX, like I said, 47 cubic feet as a maximum. And if you're curious as to how that compares to this vehicle's rivals, there are a ton of luxury compact SUVs out there. Go to carconfections.com/vehicle rankings. Now, the reason I'm recommending to do that is because we've gone through, listed all the options in the segment, and ranked them in individual categories that might matter most to you. So that will be things like cargo space, rear seat features, luxury features in the front, powertrain choices, resale reliability. All of those things are available on our website, so we definitely recommend using that tool so you can make an informed buying decision. Now, as far as the features are concerned back here, there's not going to be a ton of things. You can just kind of reach up here and fold the seats down. They do fold 60-40 split to give you that maximum. I want to point out you have the power ability as well. If you get a really high-end NX, that it can actually be a fully power folding and returning seat. As far as our cargo length, width, and height figures, it's a Car Confections review after all. Overall cargo length is 72 inches behind Drew's seating position. Behind the second row, 38 inches. 40 inches wide. And as far as cargo height, that's going to be a little bit on the short side. 28 inches at the tallest point, and then, of course, down here at the bottom, we're sitting at about 15 inches tall. Now, if we lift up the floor, you're going to notice that we have just a little bit of extra space, a little bit of room to put our cargo cover as well. There is not a spare tire for this hybrid model. And speaking of the hybrid, maybe compared to the gas model, you're not going to lose any cargo capacity compared to the gas one. So that's just something worth pointing out. Well, guys, here we are behind the wheel of the Lexus NX 350h. In this test drive, we're going to be discussing quite a few different things. As you can see on the screen right now, we'll also be getting our sound level reading. But first, we need to go ahead and start with a hard acceleration. there was our hard acceleration to about 60 miles per hour. Now, with the 350h model, we already talked a little bit about it in the spec dump, but to recap, it is a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine paired with the hybrid electric componentries. All total is 239 horsepower. So pretty good in terms of your overall power. This is in the broader NX lineup, not the lowest powered option, and also not the highest powered option as well.
Yeah. Most models, or most people will probably get the NX 350, which is the 2.4 liter turbo that makes 275 horsepower. So yes, it is a little bit less power than that. I think most buyers will be perfectly fine with this setup. However, and as you can see from that acceleration, it gets to 60 miles an hour, perfectly adequate. The only thing I will point out is that compared to maybe some of its rivals, when you just stomp on the accelerator, it does definitely have more engine noise that enters into the cabin. So that's something worth noting. Now let's also take a second to discuss the plug-in hybrid variant known as the 450h Plus. This is also going to have the same 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine. You of course have electric motors and a larger lithium-ion battery pack, obviously, than this one. Total system on that model is 302 horsepower, and as far as some main facts and figures, it goes 37 miles on a single charge.
Now, as far as the transmission is concerned, we have an eCVT, which is typical of the Toyota and Lexus lineup. Nice and responsive when you put your foot down. Definitely get the power nice and quickly. One of the nice things about this vehicle as well is in the hybrid configuration, standard all-wheel drive across the board, so you don't have to worry about that option.
Yeah, very nice. And as far as fuel economy, I'll go ahead and hit that as well. I'm sure you're very curious about that. We mentioned at the spec dump, but it gets very good fuel economy. 41 city, 37 highway, 39 miles per gallon combined. That is very, very good stuff. It's better than the RX 350h if you're looking at maybe cross-shopping that. That gets 36 miles per gallon, so a 3 MPG better fuel economy for that. Like we said, standard all-wheel drive as well. And then if you choose the 450h Plus, of course, like I mentioned, you have 37 miles of pure electric range, and then I would expect a pretty similar fuel economy figure to that 39 MPG mark after you deplete the charge. All right, and as we accelerate here, let's go ahead and get our Car Confections sound level reading. I'm sure you're very curious as to how quiet this NX hybrid is, going 55 miles per hour. Let's see. 57.5 decibels is what we are sitting at for this NX 350h. Now, we don't have to sit here and guess how it compares to the rivals. We can find that at carconfections.com/sound level readings. We've looked at all the luxury compact SUVs and, sampled them to see how quiet they are. Now, as far as that reading, that is certainly going to put it on the louder end of the spectrum. It's not the quietest option, that's for sure. However, there are a couple things I do want to point out. First of all, we are under a wind advisory. Unfortunately, that's the day we had to film this video. It is very windy outside. And more important than that, though, is the fact that we have these crossbars installed. That makes a big difference when it comes to your sound level reading. It's, a big thing sticking out of the roof. It makes quite a bit of wind noise. So keep that in mind. If you want a quieter cabin, just make sure you uninstall those or don't install them at all. And that will give you a little bit of a quieter cabin. Now, as far as how we've sampled other NXs in the past, the 350 that we tested out, that was sitting around 56 decibels. So I'd expect somewhere around that range if you didn't have the crossbars installed. And we're driving on a pretty rough stretch of pavement here, and I want to take a second to discuss overall ride quality for this NX. I've been very pleasantly surprised with this model with the time that we've been spending with it. Now, it is worth noting we are in the luxury version. Here on the 350h, you cannot actually get the F-Sport or anything like that, so because of that, it's very luxury-minded. I think that's a good thing. It matches with this vehicle's character. You hit a bump in the road, and it just does a great job of soaking that up. Really, none of it is translated into the cabin. We do also have really, really comfortable seats. I would say maybe the RX is a tinge more comfortable in overall, ride quality. So if that's something you're cross-shopping with, that's something to keep in mind. But overall, I'm very pleasantly surprised with the ride, and I think it rides better than some of the German rivals, that's for sure.
Let's jump into today's Slam Dunk and Airball. I'll begin with the Slam Dunk, and that is really going to be the existence, basically, of the hybrid model. So this version here specifically really stands out in the segment. A lot of the competition kind of just skips this step. Obviously, hybrids are getting very popular in the market right now, and a lot of the rivals only offer plug-in hybrids, which give you that, pure electric range, of course, but also significantly pricier option. This here is just a little bit of an upgrade, gives you a big bump in fuel economy and no adjustment to your lifestyle.
Yeah. Now, on the Airball side of things, what we're going to say is that we wish that Lexus would include a little bit more standard equipment on this model. It's kind of one of those, you'll see a little later in the pricing section, but they kind of nickel and dime you for a lot of different little options. For instance, the wireless phone charging pad is $75. It's probably should just be standard equipment. This is a luxury vehicle after all, so we wish that they would kind of rearrange their trim structures and stuff to give you more standard features overall.
Now let's talk pricing for the NX Hybrid. So we're going to be starting at around $46,000. The Hybrid does give you standard all-wheel drive, so that's quite good for the 350h model. The 450h Plus plug-in hybrid is significantly more expensive than this one, so that's something worth noting. $62,290 is your starting price for that model. Now, as far as this one, we have the 350h Premium 2025. We have quite a lot of options. As you can see, they kind of do the a la carte options list. $1,175 destination. We're sitting at $54,700 as tested today. Now, if you're looking to buy a Lexus NX or any new vehicle, we'd encourage you to go to carconfections.com/newcarquotes. The reason you do that is because we have a tool on our website that will connect you with local car dealers in your area to get you the best price. It's also going to give you access to invoice pricing information, which is a great tool for dealership negotiation. If you'd like to take advantage of that, once more, it's in our video description, and we also have a pinned comment at the top of this video. But buying a vehicle is about more than just the original MSRP, so let's dive into resale and reliability.
First up, let's talk about resale value. As an economics graduate myself, Drew and I took the time to develop what we think is a good estimate for this Lexus NX's potential resale value. We estimate that after 5 years and 60,000 miles, it'll be worth 53.8% of original MSRP, and after 10 years and 120,000 miles, 28.1%. Now, it's worth noting that is a very good resale value percentage, especially for a luxury brand. It's above average for all vehicle brands, but it is the #1 luxury brand overall. It's significantly higher than your German counterparts.
Now, we've also done the same for reliability by developing the Combined Reliability Index. This takes into account several studies on reliability from trustworthy sources and combines them in a way that gives you a more holistic picture. In this regard, Lexus is rated above the overall industry average for all vehicle makes.
Now, if you'd like to learn more about our resale values, reliability information, or our methodology, be sure to go to carconfections.com/resale and carconfections.com/reliability. Buying a new vehicle is a very big decision, so you want to make sure you're making a smart purchase, especially if you're cross-shopping between different vehicle brands. Now, as far as last things, your warranty is going to be a pretty darn good one for a luxury brand. 4-year 50,000-mile basic, 6-year 70,000-mile powertrain warranty. You do also get 2 complimentary service visits.
And guys, that's going to wrap up this very windy review of the 2025 Lexus NX 350h Hybrid. If you enjoyed watching this video or found it helpful in your purchasing decisions, which of course we hope you did, we'd really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button down below. By subscribing, you're going to get notified on the latest content such as this, and you're also going to be a part of our Car Confections family. We have a lot of fun, and I promise you won't want to miss out. We'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.